course, see here, I think it's very interesting that a industrial arts major sitting here reflecting on his education, and two of the folks that you brought up were a geographer and a physicist, and that's part of what it's part of the rich tradition.
It is.
At Eastern is that broad liberal arts base.
It is.
That folks even in technical disciplines get, and it's very important. It's what I've always said.
Yeah.
Separates what we do, separates higher education from a true higher education experience from purely vocational technical education.
Well, and sometimes industrial arts teachers are misunderstood. They think that's all we're interested in. I was walking down the hall one day when I was I guess I might have been a junior by then, I don't know. And Ralph Whalen looked around at me and said, "Carl, what are you reading other than your textbooks?" I said, "That's all the time I have to read." And he said, "Well, you need to be reading other things." And he started bringing me books, one by Hemingway, and I said, "You need to read other stuff." He said, to broaden yourself a little bit. And so that came right out of industrial arts. Yeah, and boy, we had some good teachers over there too. Some of the best craftsmen in the country. We turned out some good people over there.
You were talking about your experience building the cabinets in the Blanton House. Then you mentioned Homer Davis, and I'm having kind of a quasi-senior moment here. Can't remember the gentleman's first name. You might be able to fill it in. But when Homer Davis was a student, and this other gentleman whose last name is Doty.
Dabney Doty.
Dabney Doty. That's exactly right. When they, of course, then he went from here as a student, and then had a long, distinguished career on the faculty at the University of Missouri.
He did.
But when Homer Davis and Dabney Doty were students, and I assume, I guess it would have been Donovan was the president at the time. As students, they made some of the furniture, particularly some bedroom furniture that's still in use in the two top front upstairs bedrooms in the Blanton House today. Now, I don't know if the cabinets that Joanne and I use are still those same ones that you built.
I don't know.
Or not.
I should have signed them. Dabney Doty was back on campus.
He was back Alumni Day. We had a good visit with him.
He was professor there when I was a student at the University of Missouri, and he had a good reputation. He would work you to death, but you learned it.
Yeah. Let's talk about the year since 1982. And I know you're back on campus enough. That I think I know you're still fond of us.
Oh, absolutely. And I am proud of the fact that I have promoted Eastern in every state in the nation except Wyoming. And
have you just not had a chance there? Well, people won't listen to you.
I don't think there's anybody out there. I called, nobody answered. No, I have been fortunate enough to speak in all the. It's a beautiful place, and I've been there. We just haven't spoken there. It's not a convention area generally, and so I've promoted Eastern in Alaska, Hawaii, Switzerland, Bermuda, Virgin Islands, wherever, all over Canada. And people tell me sometimes, well, we were driving down I-75 on vacation, and we saw the sign, and we drove around campus to go want to see where you taught, and they say, it's a beautiful campus. I said, it certainly is. And so, so I never left Eastern. Eastern will always be a part of me, and I enjoy bragging about us. And it's not just bragging. We have a fine institution.
Well, we do, and we're proud of, maybe we haven't said this so straightforward, but we're proud of you. We take pride in our product, you refer to yourself as America's funniest professor. Of course, see, it's been 28 years since you were a professor, and I've heard, I don't know how many times, Carl, I've heard you speak since then. I know it's well up in the in the dozens
Yeah.
of times, but I'm always struck by the fact that while you're funny, you're also instructional. There's a message there. And then the other thing that strikes me about your humor is you draw almost 100% of it from your own life experiences.
That's right.
Because there's some funny stuff out there if you just look for it.
It's all around. Yeah, I guess it's the teacher in me. But my style of comedy is not just to tell a story, but to have a reason for telling the story. I'm making a point with that story. And that makes the story funnier. And you remember it longer. Mm-hmm. But if I'm talking about, I would say communications, then I'll say something serious about communication, and boom, 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 about 3 stories that make a point about communications, and that's just my style, and I guess that's the teacher in me. But there is a message, and that is just the way I am.
And there's a humility in your humor, because you poke fun at yourself a lot.
Yeah. If you can't laugh at yourself, just like the other day, my wife was mad at me all day. You know, I don't understand this, because of something she dreamed. I said, how could you be mad at me over something you dreamed? She said, I dreamed last night that you and Robert Redford were fighting over me, and you won. I guess that would upset you. But I told a group down there in Marco Island day before yesterday, I said, if you can't laugh at yourself, others are laughing at you. You can bet on it. You got to be able to laugh. We all make mistakes. We all mess up. So,
where have you encountered your best, most responsive audience, and where have you encountered your toughest?
Well, I tell you, there've been so many of those good ones. You don't want to leave anybody out. But day before yesterday, in Marco Island, I was talking to all these people. It was a Southern Association of, they work with the housing authorities. Good people. They screamed, they hollered, got a standing ovation. It couldn't be any better than that. Last Friday before last, I was at the First Church of Christ at Burlington, Kentucky, all-day meeting in honor of veterans, and it's called I Love America Day. They had this beautiful big church filled with people, and it was just like magic, you know, just best I've ever seen. A few years back, I was working at a county fair off the back of a flatbed truck, right between two bluegrass bands. The people in the audience thought I was up there adjusting the equipment. They didn't know I was up there. They were trying to be funny. And then some years ago, I did a big dinner, a whole banquet for people who are hearing impaired. Every table, they had these round tables, every table had a signer. And I was on stage, and nobody looking at me. You get your timing and everything from the laughter and watching the people. Mm-hmm. It was tough. I did the best I could. It was tough. And a few signers told me, they said, well, you lost us on a few of those jokes. But it can be tough.